What's going on, YouTube family? So we about to really deep dive into this thing, right? We know that feminism has destroyed femininity, right? But feminism has sought to destroy masculinity, right? That's why we see masculine women and feminine men. It's all about design, okay? And so it went from tricking to simping. So back in my day, if you was a trick, hey, them was fighting words. You know what I'm saying? You know, you called the wrong man at the wrong time a trick. He might be ready to fight you, right? And it wasn't a badge of honor. It was a badge of shame to be a trick, to be giving your money to women for attention. And you know what I'm saying? Just to be played in the end, right? Usually the trick was the man that visited prostitutes. He's known as a trick, right? So anytime you had you chased after a woman, you gave her money, time, and attention, and you sought validation as a man from a woman, you was called a trick, right? And then through hip hop, you know, it ain't tricking if you got it. See, it went from being a badge of shame to a badge of honor. See, this was all a feminist agenda to make women masculine and to feminize the man. It's just to destroy and upset the apple cart of how God created things. Okay, so now uh, it, it, uh, uh, it's simping, from tricking to simping. It's the same thing. Okay, the trick back in my day is the simp of today, right? And so I just watched a video where it was called The Rise of the Beta Male, and it was coming from a worldly psychologist, you know, understanding of human personality traits and stuff like that. Okay, so you know you got the beta male who is the simp male, you know, in slang language, it's the same man, right? The simping and tricking is the same process. Okay, we just, you know, we're gonna keep it on the GED level. Okay, so the beta is the simp, tricking is simping. It's the same thing, okay? And so, with the rise of feminism, which sought to destroy man, elevate woman, okay? It's all the devil's plan since the Garden of Eden. Um, um, and so, with the rise of feminism, it destroyed the family home. It took man out of the house. It elevated woman, right? And it gave her a sense of entitlement, a delusional sense of entitlement. Uh, 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 called the alpha male toxic, right? Just, you know, want to destroy masculinity so they can raise the beta male who idolizes and worships women to begin with, right? But are weak in nature. You know what I'm saying? Aren't leaders, you know, in their personality. So they look to the masculine woman to be the leader that they're not, right? And then us alpha males, us leaders of men, now we're toxic, we're bad, we're just grapists. You know what I'm saying? And want to feminize the man. All right, it's all an agenda behind it, right? So I went from tricking to simping. And so, what's the definition of a simp? Because we hear these terms tossed around a lot, right? So, in online slang, a simp is typically a man who is perceived as being excessively attentive and submissive to a woman, often in the hopes of gaining romantic or sexual attention. This behavior is often seen as insincere or desperate. Okay? 1 point, excessive attention and submissiveness. Simps are seen as going above and beyond in their efforts to please someone, particularly a woman they are interested in romantically. That's the simp. We see that, and so with these modern women, that they are created in the likeness or image of feminism. Okay, uh, the whole goal was to to elevate her, right, as being desirable, knowing that the beta males, the simps, right, you know, who seek their attention, who seek their in hopes of being romantically involved by these women, will give all their money, time, and resources to these women, and it went from, at least it was a fair exchange, to now they get nothing in return. These women are out of control with this, right? But there's an agenda, and then men such as myself who Who ain't gonna? I'm not doing none of that, right? You got to earn anything you get from me, right? But then now I'm a toxic man. I'm bad. I'm this. I'm that. Okay. And so what has happened is that usually for most men like that, we find ourselves trying to compete with the simp man. you know, ain't no way you should be out here trying to compete with a simp man. Let these simps have these modern women. Let them have them. You're not missing nothing. You know what I'm saying? And so that's what's been going on. And so another point is desperation for affection. This is the simp. Their actions are often perceived as being driven by a desire to win the other person's affection, even if it means sacrificing their own dignity or self respect. Man, that is the simp man all day long. And what comes to mind when I think about this is I just watched a brother go online basically crying about how he spent $1,000 on a woman just to get dished in the end. You're a simp, sir. A simp. How you gonna spend $1,000 just to get dished? You could have took $40 down to the hood and got everything you needed. So I'm just saying. So we're gonna do a deep dive on this. I'm just fleshing it out right now. So yes, it's definitely I'm gonna have a rise of the simps. Uh, Feminism's goal to feminize the man, and so I'm working on it right now, and so stay tuned for that. But this is part one in the series. Okay, so fellas, ask yourself: Are you a simp? Huh? Are you showing simp behavior? Huh? Are you chasing after a woman for for affection and attention, hoping you might get something in return? Huh? If you are, stop immediately. Stop what you're doing immediately. Next time that girl come calling with her hand out, tell her no. In fact, don't even answer the phone. Don't even respond to the text, and watch how things change for you. All right, so I'm gonna end it there, and I'm gonna continue on down this deep dive into this because I know what's going on. Uh, uh, Looking at it from a spiritual lens, I know the world will throw out these terms, the beta males, but we're gonna keep it on the GED level. It's the simp male, but then coming from a Christian world view perspective, I know this is just a demonic thing that feminism used to destroy what God has created. That's all is going on. It's just an evil agenda behind this process, and I'm gonna start shining some light on it and bringing it to people's awareness. Okay, it's not for the purpose of hating on women, but it's definitely for the purpose of taking women off a pedestal. Okay, they should not be there. The only person on that pedestal should be the Lord Jesus. Okay, but women, the modern woman, through feminism, has exalted themselves and are seeking to rule and reign over man. That's the whole purpose. And the only way they can achieve that goal is to destroy masculinity, feminize the man, and rule and reign over a feminine, weakened man. That's the whole goal and purpose in the devil's kingdom. It's just the facts. And so I'm gonna start shining some light on that evil agenda, and it's just out of control. And you see more and more of it daily with these videos that's coming out of fellas finally stepping up and speaking out about how they're just constantly being played and tired of it, dealing with these women. And these women are starting to lose their minds because the more and more men that start pulling away, and then now they're starting to see that, yeah, you've been living in a delusion, ma'am, and you need to get back to how God created you, and back to your traditional role of being a mother and a wife. That's all you were created and designed to do. Us men, we were created and designed to rule and reign. Okay? That's just the way it is. Take it up with the Lord or why you was born a woman. We had nothing to do with that. Okay? So, women, learn how to live in your femininity, how God created and designed you to be, and there is beauty and grace and majesty in that, in your own way, just like it is for us fellas. All right, so we're gonna deep dive into that. And fellas, if you see yourself being a simp, if you see yourselves being a trick, beta male, as the world will call you, then you need to reevaluate your life. All right, I'm gonna end it there, and I'm gonna definitely make more videos pertaining to this subject. as we go along. So thank you for watching. If you like what I do, hit me with a like. If you haven't subbed, hit me with a sub. And please leave a comment. I welcome it all, good and bad. Until next time.